Okay. Hello, knockouts. Tonya Tko here. And I am, all right. Let's get started. I'm taking a quick break from working on my book. I am in the process now of finalizing the edits on each page one by one. And so I decided that I would take a little break, rest my eyes, because the last thing I want to do is keep staring at this and then make a mistake because I'm just tired of looking at the pages. So I decided to do something fun, and so the phone number is 323-488-3149. I want you to call in and visualize with me. I want you to tell me what your dream is, and let's visualize it, and I'll ask you some questions, whatever comes up, and then we'll go from there. Who's game? Who is brave enough? Because we talked yesterday about the book and about the vitamin E and all of this stuff. We talked about that yesterday. And there are so many people who love TKO skin. I love TKO skin. However, I had to sacrifice TKO skin in order to follow my dream. And my dream is to be a published. What's going on? My dream is to be, hey Kevin, Mina, Lana, my dream is to be a published author, to do motivational talks and workshops to help people recalibrate on the inside. One of the ways that I thought I'd be able to do that is by becoming a certified life coach. Another way I thought was by becoming a certified clinical hypnotherapist, because I felt like with life coaching and hypnotherapy combined, I'd be able to help people enact lasting change. And so some of the things that I've done is I've been able to create MP3s to help people go deep into their subconscious. Like the movie Inception, where they were going in to take things out and change things around. Well, kind of like that. Like go deep into your subconscious mind to help create change from the inside out, because there's so much resistance we can have on the outside to change. And so I figured going in and helping people create change from the programming would be one of the most powerful, quickest and lasting ways. So that was my dream. And so, like, some people are still confused and angry that I closed TKO skin. And when it comes to you, there may be resistance that people in your own life have about you making changes. So let's talk about it. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. We're going to be talking about our dreams. We're going to be visualizing today. Who's going to be I see Missy is in here. So come forward, Missy. Call in. Let us know what your dream is. Do you know? Do we all know what our dream is? Some people may not know. So you know what? You can call in. I can give you some life coaching live on the air. And thank you to all of the people who came out and bought the vitamin E. I'm going to have to start tallying up to see if I'm going to need to stop before I planned on it, because you all really came out and showed out yesterday. So thank you to everyone who did that. Oh, we got our first brave person, and there's no microphone connected. Oh, brother, here we go. Because you know what, I move my laptop around, especially when I'm doing like all of these edits. So I'm sorry, I gotta get the microphone plugged in. Okay. All right, the microphone is plugged in, but I'll probably need to close my browser. And do this again. So I'm closing the browser, and I am going to reopen it, and then you'll be able to call back. I might even have to restart the computer. Who knows? Let me know if there's just a lot of sound, because I have my fan on, because I'm in the desert. It's hot, so I had to turn off the AC because the AC is really loud. Because I have central air, so it blows in through the ceiling, and so I have this vortex fan on. So let me know if the fan is, or how that is. Okay, so I need the person to call back so that we can test and see if the microphone is all set up. So who is going to be the brave first person to come out and visualize with me? All right. I don't hear any sound. Okay, bear with me for one moment. I'm having some trouble with the sound. This is so frustrating, but these things happen. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go check my Bluetooth settings. Give me just one moment. Nobody can hear you because I didn't even hear the call coming in. It says it's connected. Let me disconnect and then reconnect again. Okay, hello? 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 So, hello? Give me just one second. Let me see if I can repair it. Let me remove the device. Cause, okay, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. You know what? Okay, so now you're coming through from my computer speakers. But give me one second. Let me just try to set the Bluetooth back up, okay? How are you doing today?
Yeah, you're talking to me, right?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Oh, hey. Oh my God. Okay. I'm doing fine. It's actually quite late. At the end of the day. How
Oh,
are you
real?
doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know what? I need to search Bluetooth discoverable. How do I search for a new device? Add Bluetooth device.
I'm quite shocked right now. I'm still in
Why
a
are you,
state of
why are you
shock.
shocked?
Oh, because well, first. So long.
Okay, you're on. Okay, say something else. Let me hear.
Because like I'm from the other side of the world, and I'm just really happy because I've been watching your videos for so long, and you're so full of wisdom that I'm just like really happy right now to be talking to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Which other side of the world are you on?
All the way from the Middle East, from Israel.
Oh, wow. Israel. Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
When I was
What?
traveling in, where was I? I was in, trying to remember which trip this was. This was when I was in Latin America. There was so many
Hmm?
Israelis there, and the
Yeah, we're
Israelis
like
were
everywhere.
very wild, though, very wild. I was like, what's happening? They were so, I don't know. You know what? I think it's because you know, like everybody in Israel, you guys have to like go into the military and all this other stuff. But before you go into the military, you go on these trips where you just
Do some
wild
real
out.
stuff. Yeah.
So the girls were
Yeah.
wilding out, the men were wilding out. It was I was like, wow. And so somebody said you can
That sounds
always
pretty crazy.
yeah, somebody said you can always tell the Israelis when you're traveling because those are the ones that are
That's true. That's so true, though.
yeah, but you know what? It was a good time, and there was this one Israeli guy who he had this guitar and he would sing for me at the hostel. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Actually, I went all the way to like Asia 9 months ago, and I met some Israelis, and I could pinpoint them like right away in the bar. They were acting like animals.
Okay,
It was
so
crazy.
it's not just me. I don't want to say they were acting like animals, but I
No,
will say they were
no. Well,
they were living
no,
it
they act
up.
like animals in a good way because we have a lot of energy. I guess it's a cultural thing. We would do some crazy stuff when we're out and having fun. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Everybody I met from Israel, I would say everybody was actually pretty nice. Aside from the wildness, like really just like there was this one girl in my
Mm-hmm,
hostel.
mm-hmm.
She was from Israel. She met this guy along the way, and they too were in the hostel bed tongue kissing and rubbing around. I was like, what in the world? I took a picture of them. I was like snapping photos with my flash on, with the flash, with the sound loud. I was hoping that it
Well,
would
now
make
you're
them.
being wild. We're
No,
just taking pictures.
I was hoping that the sound of the flash, I mean, the light from the flash and the sound of the camera would make them
Oh,
stop, but they didn't care. I was like, well, ugh. But not,
I'm not that wild. Yes.
but nonetheless, okay, so let's talk about your dream. What is your, so today we're visualizing our dream. So what is your dream?
Yeah, we are. So that was like the perfect topic for me. I felt like I had to call you. I've
Yeah.
had a few instances where I wanted to, and I was watching your lives, but I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out, and I know why, because that's like the perfect topic for me to talk about today with this video, because I'm 22 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I've not gone in the path that everyone in my country goes to. You know, like they finish school, they go to university, and they do all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to study something. So my dream is a little, I guess, childish, but it comes from like childhood. So I've
Mm-hmm.
really loved traveling my entire
Okay.
life, and at some point, I really took interest in Korea. Can you hear me
Oh,
well? I
yeah, I
really took
can.
interest in Korea, and I was there last year. And
Okay.
my dream is kind of childish, but like I would love to be to have an opportunity to be there for a long length of time, but I really don't know how to get myself there. So
What do you mean? It's so
yeah, that's
easy.
that. I know, but like, no, okay, all right. Well, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I've
Oh.
been struggling like lately with like anxiety and keeping a job, and it's really hard for me. So like,
Oh.
ideally, I know it's really easy. You can just work, get money, and go there for like a working holiday visa or something. But I guess that's like a little. It feels a little far out of reach and a little like silly, because everyone like has a dream of like, oh, I have this dream of like being a doctor, and then I'm like, well, I just want to go to another place that feels like home to me.
Yeah, well,
And
you
I
know
would
what?
like,
I
yeah.
I
Mhm.
spent a year in Tokyo when I was in my 20s, and you can do it. Have you thought about maybe teaching English? I know that there's lots of opportunities for that.
Yeah, I know, but sadly, unless you're a native speaker, they don't allow that for some reason. Like even if your English is really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. You're not a native speaker. Oh,
Not
but you speak so well. I would have never thought that.
really. Oh, thank you. That's a really nice compliment. I
Oh,
love
wow.
languages, so I guess I immerse myself in them when I do learn them.
Oh, how many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak my native language, that's Hebrew, and English and Spanish, and I'm currently learning Korean. So like
Oh,
3 going on 4. Yeah.
okay. Somebody in the comments said that you can become a tutor. Have you thought about being a tutor?
You mean like a tutor?
Uh,
Isn't that the same as like private lessons and stuff?
yeah, like private lessons, cause there are different companies. There's this company called oh, I forget the name of it, but there are different companies that I'm sure they have different. And so first of all, I do not think that your dream is childish. I don't think that it's unrealistic. I think that your dream is something that you feel on the inside, and the best part about it is you never know where that next
Yeah.
step will take you. So you feel something on the inside, you go there, and then it'll take you to your next step in life, but you have to listen to that internal calling.
I know. It's kind of like I do want to listen to my internal calling, but it's kind of hard, because there are always voices from the outside that are like, nope, you shouldn't do that. You should probably study. You should probably do this. And it is a space for me to like step into like my own desires and say, well, doesn't matter what everyone on the outside says. I need to follow my own heart. But it's kind of hard, like when you're actually going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I really want to do that I've known from a very young age is that which kind of like it ties close with the fact that I want to go to Korea, is well, not really, but it's just as like I guess not clear to me as going to Korea, is the fact that I want to be helping other people like you one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's going to be like, honestly, I do like tarot card readings myself and I really
Mm.
enjoy it. But I feel like I haven't like matured enough as a person to be able. I feel like I need to go through my own healing before I can offer that kind of thing to other people. Before I can actually help them. Before I can actually guide them. So that's like those
Okay.
are two things that I know. But I kind of don't know what the next steps should be like to in order to like get there. I've been stuck for like 9 months now, like not really moving, not really doing anything, and yeah. But yeah, those are my dreams.
Okay. Well, these sound like amazing dreams. So let's first things first. You say you have anxiety. Is this is has this been clinically diagnosed?
Yeah, I take pills as well. Yeah.
Okay. So how does your anxiety affect you going after your dreams?
Well, first of all, it affects my sleep. So a year ago, my sleep issues were at the worst, like you can imagine. I was
Mm-hmm.
basically bedridden. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't eat. I didn't function. I didn't work. They were really bad. And after I started taking the pills, they got better. But the thing is that I don't know why, but every time I want to make one step towards achieving my dreams, again, I can't sleep. I feel unsettled. I feel not calm. It's like almost like every step that I want to take forward, it's like something in my body stops me and I go two steps back. If that makes any sense. Like
Yeah.
I feel like not at ease.
Okay, okay. Well, that's definitely going to be an added challenge, but it's not insurmountable. When was the last time you spoke with your pharmacologist about the prescription that you're on and whether or not, there may be something else that can assist you? When was the last time you spoke with them?
Honestly, it's been a long time. It's been before I went to Korea, so that's almost a year. But the issue, well, no, it's not an issue, but that's the only pill that kind of helped me because I was on it before I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back on it because nothing else worked. I tried a few other things, and they gave me a misdiagnosis of bipolar at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it. I went through like at least 3, 4 psychiatrists until I ended up with this pill again from my teens, and that's kind of like the only thing that works.
Okay.
It's not really as much as the pill, but more so like I feel like every time I want to take a step forward, I kind of like self sabotage it myself, and I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I don't understand why I'm doing it, but it's like yeah, it happens, and I don't know why.
Okay, okay. Well, you know what? So you said you haven't seen a psychiatrist in a year. Our bodies physiologically have a tremendous amount of changes from our teens to our early 20s. So, how do you feel about going back and at least talking with someone and speaking with them about, about how great this medication has been? Maybe coupled with some talk therapy, maybe that can also assist. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so in terms of talk therapy, it is something that I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Although like there's this thing like the moment I start talking with other people, it's a habit of mine. It seems is that I take a step forward and then like I run away from the from like talks or like going to a psychologist and talk like any sort of talking. For some reason, the moment I start talking, I just feel so much uncomfortableness in my body. I just give up on it. But it
Okay.
is something that I thought about and I know would be very beneficial. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think could be some ways that you could safeguard yourself from running away? What are some things that you would do or could do beforehand so that when you feel yourself beginning to run away that you stop yourself from running away? What can you do?
In order for me to not run away. It's a hard one. Um, well, honestly, I would have to commit. I feel like in my heart, I'm just not committing to really. It's not a priority to me. Like for me, like achieving things is always a priority, but
Mm-hmm.
actually helping myself has not been a priority in a long time.
Okay.
Because I guess it's easier for me to go like, oh, well, you'll get those things, then those problems will just like like fade away, but that's not the case. You kind of like take your problems with you
Right,
wherever you
right,
go.
right, right, right.
So,
So what is something that you can do to make yourself commit?
mm, actually, that's a really hard question for me to answer because I'm kind of like I have to just try because I'm the kind of person that I just go with like
Your volume has
experience.
gone
If
really
something
low
works and I
down.
know it works, huh?
Your volume has gone very far
What did you
down.
say? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, that's much better. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. No, I said it's a hard question for me to answer because I'm kind of like this. I'm the kind of person that if I know that something will help me or I know I really want something, I go for it 100%.
Yes.
But there's no like guarantee that this specific person is going to help you with your issues or that specific treatment is going to help you. So I just don't start it because there is no guarantee that it's going to make a change. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So it's like kind of like if it's up in the air anyway, why should you commit to something that doesn't have a guarantee?
Exactly. But you
Okay.
have to do it anyways because then nothing will change anyways. But yeah.
Right. So what is something that you can do on the inside that can help you stay focused, that even if it's not this person, not this therapist or not this psychologist, that you will continue to move forward until you find what it is. What is something that you can do?
For me, it really boils down to
Your volume again.
deciding. Really? I said, I guess for me, it just boils down to like just, I guess, making a decision and saying this should be as important as you working towards getting to Korea or towards getting like do whatever like any type of thing that you enjoy. Like I
Yes.
guess it should just be a decision that is like, oh, this is just as important. So you cannot slack off when it comes to therapy because it has no less value than achieving your dreams. It should be part of my dream, to better myself and to work on myself to make my life more comfortable. But I guess there's a part of me that doesn't believe that's going to happen through therapy, so that's why I don't commit.
Okay.
There is really a part of me that is like always like, oh, I should do the things myself. I should
Okay.
learn how to calm myself down alone. I should learn how to take care of myself alone because it's like I guess in a way it seems like pathetic to need the help of other people,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah. Are
that's
you
what I want to do one
listen,
day.
are you
Yeah.
are you black by any chance?
No, I'm not. No, I'm like Middle Eastern, so I guess it's like in the middle. I'm not white, but I'm not
because
black.
because that is something that black people struggle with, having to be all powerful,
Mm,
having to be, the strongest, the best, not needing help, not showing any weakness. I don't know if it's the same in Israel,
yeah,
but I know
yeah,
that
yeah.
black people suffer with that a lot in the United States. So who do you know that has ever gotten where it is that they are without any help from anyone?
Nobody. Ain't nobody's life is that good. Nobody.
Right.
I don't really know any person
Right. So,
that doesn't need help from other people like once in a while.
right. So we all need help from people in different ways. We all need help
Hmm.
from. Sometimes we need medical help. Sometimes we need physical help. Sometimes we need financial help. Sometimes we need spiritual help. Everybody needs help in some sort of way.
Oh yeah, I
So,
know that.
so why is mental health help? Why does that equate weakness?
Because I guess there's a part of me I always hear from like my parents as well. It's like you're your own best doctor. Like like because I guess it's something that other people can do for themselves. Kind of like control their anxiety to a certain level, and I can't. So it's like, oh, but you should do it like other people do. You should control yourself. You should control your anxiety. You should just change the way you think, as if it's that easy, but it's not. So
Right. Well, let me ask you this
yeah.
question. What about, okay, name a physical medical condition or ailment. Name one. A physical medical condition or ailment.
Like diabetes.
Okay, so let's say like diabetes, right? So if somebody said, listen, control your sugar, other people can control their sugar. Or if,
I love you. I swear, you're hilarious. Uh-huh.
so if somebody, no, but really seriously, so if somebody was like, why
Yeah,
can't you
like
control
control
your
your cancer.
insulin?
People can control. Yeah.
Right.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
Right. So then how long have you been thinking that there's validity in somebody demanding or even suggesting that somebody can control something physiological that is something real going on inside of them? You know what happens to people who are diabetic and they don't take their insulin, right?
They lose their legs and feet, I think, and then they die, or their eyesight.
Right. So if somebody with diabetes, if their parents were
It's a
hollering
blood
at them,
story.
why can't you control your insulin? I can control mine. Other people control their insulin. Why can't so
That's true.
so how do you think
Can I ask you a question?
sure, go ahead.
So another thing that popped into my mind as you were talking is the fact that I also attribute, like, I say, like, if I would have this and this and this, then my anxiety wouldn't be so bad, or if this thing will change my reality, then it would be so bad. But that's not necessarily the case, is it?
Well, why don't you do some research on what is it that physiologically causes anxiety? There are different chemical
Oh
things
yeah, I have
that
no
are going
idea.
on. Remember, just like insulin is a chemical, there are different people have different, like there's serotonin, this is far outside of my scope of knowledge. But I know that there are things that happen in the brain, different types of secretions, that some people are born producing insulin, some people are born producing more serotonin, some people are not. And so do some research on physiological anxiety, the one that is medically diagnosed. So it's like, yeah, you can have a lot of different things, but the anxiety has an effect. And you know what the crazy part about it is? Like, there are so many people who are just ignorant about what mental health challenges really are. And they're like, well, people in the past didn't have
Yeah.
mental health challenges. But then
Yeah.
you have people like Van Gogh who chopped off his ears and gave it to his girlfriend. You have somebody like Marilyn Monroe who committed suicide. So they're like,
Mhm.
there's so
Mhm.
many people from the past. So even though they weren't diagnosed, they were having challenges.
Yeah.
And like Van Gogh's challenges were chalked up to, oh, he's an artist. And Marilyn Monroe. So it's
Mhm.
like all throughout the ages, people have had different issues going on. But now we're at a level of sophistication medically that we can diagnose and use supplementation to assist in some of those.
That's true.
Yeah, so tell me, what is something that you can do to kind of get a better understanding of what actually causes anxiety? What can you do?
Well, obviously you can read about it. Like, information is like everywhere nowadays. It's not like you don't even have to buy a book in order to get that sort of information. It can be online.
Okay.
Um, Read about it. Maybe hear from like other people that have it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, name one other thing.
One other thing that I can. Hmm, anxiety. I guess it's another thing that has to do with learning. There are some people that really go in depth, like on even on YouTube, really go in depth, like in and explain, like doctors that really go in depth
Yeah.
and explain like what is causing,
Okay.
what causes anxiety and how it affects your body and stuff like that. So that could also be good instead of like watching, reading online. You can actually watch someone, like some sort of a doctor explaining it to you, thoroughly and like
Yeah.
writing on the board and something. I guess that's more interesting than reading it for me.
Yeah, so so that's something that you can start looking into, so that when people like your parents say, because I mean, I'm sure it's very difficult, you know, if your parents are saying, "Look, you don't need this. Why can't you do this on your own?" It can be very difficult, while you have things going on inside of you that you don't understand, and the people who have been your caretakers are telling you you don't need a certain thing. It can be very difficult to be able to push back against that. So I commend you for your bravery
Mm.
and even continuing to go forward. So continue to push forward, learn about anxiety, listen to other people with anxiety, and continue to put one foot in front of the other. Keep us updated with what's going on with you. Okay, tell us your name again.
My name is Aya.
Okay, Aya, keep us up to date with what's going on, because I want to hear what your next
Yeah.
step is going to be. Because the if the dream is Korea, and then there you sabotage yourself before you could get to the dream, which means we need to take care of the sabotaging, which means that we need to start with the
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. Okay.
Sure.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
Aya. Thank you so much for calling in. I love
Thank
you.
you so much. I love you too. Your videos are amazing. Thank you so much for what you do, and everyone, good luck with your dream, and hopefully you will achieve it. So, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Okay. So I'm going to take a few more phone calls before I jump back into editing my book. So I'm hoping that that phone call was helpful. Mina, you already know what it is that I'm sipping on. If you search through my videos for my recipe for raspberry vinaigrette, you know that that's there. So you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hey, Tonya, Mina, how are you?
Okay, okay, Nina. Are we calling in to talk about my dream or your dreams or what I'm drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and what are you drinking? It looks delicious.
The raspberry vinaigrette, you should all have the recipe to that by now. So, yes, it's inside my video. So, search for the word vinaigrette. All right,
Oh,
just
I will. That looks delicious.
thank you. All right, so let's talk. What is your dream, Nina?
Okay, well, my life dream is it's kind of a big one, but it's definitely a passion project of mine. My life dream is to save and impact the lives of as many children as I possibly can.
Okay. Save. Did you say save the life of?
Yes, an impact.
Oh, what does that mean?
So right now, I'm in the process of starting that journey. So right now, I'm almost at the finish line of fostering to adopt.
Okay.
Pretty soon here by June or July, I should have a few new littles in my house.
Oh,
But I don't
wow.
just want to stop there. I want to globalize and eventually potentially open up my own facility to where, we could take in as many children and infants that need good homes.
Oh, okay. So right now you're getting ready to foster to adopt. How many children?
Well, I put in for definitely two, but I also told them that I'm open and I don't want to separate siblings, so I'm open for more.
Okay. And so you're opening your home to two children, possibly more, and then you're going to adopt them and make them legally your children.
Ma'am.
Okay, and then you'd want to spread this out globally so that you can create a
Yes.
facility, kind of like, what would this facility give me a description of what this facility would be like?
In a perfect world, and this is kind of where I'm trying to see what that looks like, who to call, who to reach out. But in a perfect world, I would like to buy some property to where I could, a big land to where I could build up a facility to where children that don't have homes or children that are getting pushed around the system could come to this place knowing that there's not a time limit, knowing that we'll love them. They're there all the way until they're 18 if necessary.
Okay. And so it would kind of be, so it would be like a home.
Exactly.
Okay, so on this property, would there be one main house where all of the children stay? Would there be like bunk houses, like camp, where there's bunk beds inside of the houses? How would that be? And then also adult to child
Um,
ratio. So let's talk about the housing part first.
so the idea would be to buy land where I could build the biggest building structure that I could. And, in my own thought, what that would look like, um, a huge compound is not the right word,
Oh
but a
my.
huge facility where there are multiple places, multiple homes,
Okay.
to where the children can stay, and then like a main center where there's recreational things, maybe a common dining place, and then also on the adult portion, having plenty of staff to be there 24/7 with the children and teens.
Okay. All right. So it'll be like a huge community with different houses, and so the children would live in each house, and the adults live inside of the houses too?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there will be adults inside of the houses. Are these adults going to like make a commitment to a certain amount of time that they're going to be there?
100%. Again, just in the planning stages, but would definitely want a commitment from my staff. Definitely, number one, we want the right people,
Yeah.
people who love all types of children, all diverse situations, all walks of life. So it would have to be the right people. But with being such a big facility, I would anticipate having maybe a rotating staff,
Okay.
but then also not too big to where the kids don't feel comfortable who they're with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. About how many children are you thinking about inside this community? 20, 30, 50, 100?
100 or over. I want a huge property.
Okay, 100 or over. So 200, are we talking 500, 1,000? What?
I would say to start off with 100 to 200.
Okay. And then how many adults per two? So let's round it off at 100. So with 100, how many adults?
Well, I do know that there is state law, depending on how many children can be supervised by one adult. So, depending on where this property, I'm in California. So, depending if I bought land out here or if I bought land, somewhere else, it would definitely be the ratio, one adult per the state law of children. So if we
Okay.
had 100 and they said that only one adult could watch five, then I would need enough to cover every group of five children.
Okay. And so when you say watch five, what tell me what is the, because this sounds like an amazing idea. I'm helping you flesh out what this will look like and which
Thank
direction you're
you.
going to be going in. So when you say watch the children, so they're going to be observers of the children?
I guess that was a bad word to say it. No, just meaning, with the state laws, I think in California, I would have to relook at it again. I believe it is 6 children allowed per one adult. So these adults wouldn't be like watching them, but these adults would be teaching them and loving them and teaching them the life skills that, maybe they've never been taught before, getting them ready to take care of themselves, helping them, set up school, college, uh, things that will help them in the job field. I want it to be a loving family environment, but then also a place where we can get them on the right track and set them up with the things that they would need to succeed in life.
Okay. All right. So the adult would be there kind of as a mentor.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're talking about teenagers then, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and above.
Yes, but also little ones too. school age kids, really open to all ages. I'm literally listing from 18 and below.
Okay. So one of the things that you said was that this is a place that people can come and they don't have to worry about aging out. So we're talking about people over 18 as well.
It gets tricky when they become legal, but I think one of the most amazing things that I'm learning right now going through the agency with Foster to Adopt is a lot of programs support after 18, as far as up to 21 and sometimes even 25. So the idea would be to not let anybody go unless they were in a situation that was 100% positive for them. So if
Okay.
they're with us at 18 and they're not ready to go, then guess what? They're not going.
Okay. 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 All right. And so how did you come up with this idea? What is your connection to the foster system personally?
Yeah, so a little hard topic for me, but I'm totally open to sharing. I'm 30 now. When I was 18, I was informed that I had a non-cancerous tumor in one of my ovaries, and it was the complete size of the ovary. And they told me that it would be very almost impossible for me to have children. The surgery was successful, but she was right in her warnings. I just cannot have children for whatever reason. And, family has always been incredibly important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a lot of family growing up. And I always just thought, man, how nice it would be if I had another brother or sister running around or another auntie or uncle. We just didn't have that growing up. So also, I was very active in the church when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and fostering and adopting was just the norm. Almost everybody had a blended family, and I thought, how amazing would that be to have a blended family, and to provide that love if I could. So now that I'm 30,
Mm-hmm.
I'm finally in a point in my life where I am financially stable. I have a beautiful house I just moved into,
Oh,
and
nice. In
that's
California?
yeah, yeah, yes, girl, it's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, it's gorgeous. I live right across an open field. You can see the California hills. I have redwoods all around me. It's gorgeous.
Mm.
So, that's kind of the history of it. Just because I can't physically have children, that does not mean that I cannot be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a person, a lover of all people. So it just kind of was a natural choice to kind of go down this road.
Okay, okay. All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Or,
yeah, and so thank you. Just my heart opens for you. So that's wonderful. Um so in this community, are the children going to be going to school on the community or outside of the community?
I would like, overall, and of course, this is going to be, something that doesn't happen overnight, obviously, but in a perfect world, I would love to see a school that was built into the property, but also realize that, that may not come right away. So that would take involvement from the staff, making sure that we had all the children, registered in the local schools, that we had a way to transport them to the schools, and that none of that would be an issue. But overall, I would love to build a school right there in the community, so there wouldn't have to be so much of the, bus trips in and out, things like that.
Okay. And are the children free to come and go as they choose?
As far as, do you mean as far as like activities, as far as visiting other family members?
Like if they wanted to stay out overnight, they're 13, they want to stay out overnight, they're feeling
I think it would
grown.
be ran just like a normal family as best as we, possibly could. Obviously, I remember being a teen and we do like our freedom. So I think it would just be, a matter of, where are you going? Who are you going with? Where are the numbers? You know what I mean? It would just be like a tracking of what was going on. Obviously, we don't want to hold anybody captive, and that is not the idea at all. Just communication, and as long as, it's a constructive, positive environment, I don't see there be an issue with, the children or teens that want to do things like that.
Okay, what if they want to bring someone back with them? If they want to bring,
See, now this is
they
where
got a little boyfriend or girlfriend, they want to bring them back, hang out.
got it. Yes, I totally get you. Now this is where it can get a little tricky, depending on the individual situation. For example, family. Maybe the family, their biological family, isn't the best or best choice for them to be with at the moment. A lot of people, there's the judge puts out certain requirements and certain things that are allowed and not allowed. So as long as it was cool with the courts and their individual situation, I don't see why it would be an issue for anybody to come and visit, as long as it was a positive situation and they weren't, jeopardizing their children's growth in any way. And then as far as friends, I think it would probably be like a situation where we would set up plenty of time for visitors. I think like a situation kind of like that. With them being school, I don't think we would probably do like normal drop-in, just, hey, whenever you want. But I think we would definitely do, give our best efforts to making those connections and making time and availability for their friends to come over, of course.
Okay, all right, okay. And if they want to get a little frisky, what are the house rules on that?
Oh, well, that's a tricky area too. No, there will not be overnight guests. And that's just the mama bear in me. I'm sorry. I remember being that age and, saying nothing was happening, but actually knowing that's not exactly what was going on. So I think it comes with trust too. Trust is a big factor in everything. So I think it would kind of depend on the individual. I understand boyfriends and girlfriends happen, and we want to, encourage positive relationships. So as long as it was, again, a positive situation, I don't have issues with that. But overnight, I don't see that happening.
Okay, so they can have their guests, but just in the community, in the common areas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what would be the difference between this and a group home?
Oh my gosh. Okay, Tonya. As I'm growing in my knowledge of the system is so broken. I think a lot of us know that if you have either been in the system yourself or if you've known people who go through the system. A lot of these homes, a good majority of them, just can't provide what these specific children need. Group homes, I don't want to speak down about them, but from my experience and my knowledge of them, there's just not a lot of individualized help, such as therapy, such as counseling.
Okay.
A lot of times it's just in and out of these homes. And I don't see a lot of love. I don't see a lot of care, almost like paperwork, if that makes sense, like in and out. So the difference would be, number one, it would be a more stable environment.
Okay.
Again, there wouldn't be, situations where it's like, you're here this night, but guess what, we're taking you, 2 counties over tomorrow.
Okay.
So it would be just more of a peace of mind. Also, for example, as I'm learning in the system right now, there are kids literally in the system just waiting for a family. They are adoptable right now. They just want a home or someone to claim them, anybody. So the difference would be taking those children and giving them that home and letting them know, hey, you don't have to leave. We're going to be your family here.
Yeah, so my question, see, one of my questions is I'm wondering, with one adult per 6 children, how much individualized attention and care is each child going to get in a community
Um,
like this?
that's a fair question. Again, it would be, there's a lot in the planning stages, of course. But, I would say it would be like a scheduled thing, just like anything else. I think there would be one-on-one check-ins, daily, if not, weekly. So there would be designated times with the same person, the same adult who wouldn't change, so that person could build a rapport and a comfortability with that person. And everything, the goal is, whether we are eating breakfast or playing games, just to build the kids up 100%. So that's kind of what that would look like. But again, just still in the planning phases,
Yeah.
and, open to ideas and suggestions.
And then also, what about physical touch?
Yeah, so that is a touchy area too. So a lot of the children come from, abuse. They come from situations seeing their parents, be violent, or even think of when we're in a heated argument, that yelling can be cause PTSD for the children, things like that. So, you know, can you hear me, Tonya?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I lost you. So sorry. So when it comes to touch, hugs are welcome, of course, but any, you have to respond to the kids. So sometimes you can't even go up to a kid and give them a hug because it scares them. So it's a learning process. Touch comes with time. Some kids are receiving towards it and some aren't. But appropriate touches, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't see like kisses are borderline, things like that, but appropriate touches, appropriate hugs, things like that. But again, it goes with the child and their comfortability, and some are way advanced and some are not, so it kind of just depends on the individual child.
Okay. And then, so what does family mean? What does family mean? What idea comes to mind when you think of family?
When I think of family, I think of community and love. Like I said, I did not come from a big family myself. So I found very early on that, it kind of goes with that saying, the ones you're born with, that's the family, but, friends are the family you choose, right? So, at a very young age, I learned that family can be whoever you want family to be. Family can be your postman. Family can be your neighbor across the street. Family can be anything. So when I think of family, when I think of this facility, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be one community, with the same mission and values, going towards, the same goals. And just love. Family is love. So as much as I can share that and my staff can share that with these children, I think we would have done our job.
And then what about children with behavioral issues? Are they welcome?
Yeah, so
Are
that's
they,
another
yeah.
thing. I'm kind of dealing with that right now, actually. You go through, the caseworker who's here, they ask you these questions. A lot of kids, unfortunately, do go through abuse, and a lot, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. A lot of these children have seen terrible, horrific things happen in front of them. So when it comes to that specifically, again, it goes with the child. Each child has a different, growth and development. The more information we have about the child, the better we can help them. A lot of or infants that the mother may have been taking drugs when she was pregnant have long-term effects on the baby, even when they grow up. I think the craziest case I heard when I was going through my studies in class was that, some babies actually are born with that addiction because the
Yes.
mother had used.
Yes.
One case that we went through was there was a baby where her mom was a heroin addict the
Mm-hmm.
whole time. So when that baby was born, it automatically had withdrawals. So they
Mm-hmm.
had to prescribe the baby a medicine called methadone.
Yep.
And they needed that to survive, and unfortunately could never wean off it. I know another situation where this one was more personal to me because I grew up with the family, but the mother was also on drugs the entire time of her babies, while she was growing in her room. And right away, there were signs of just, something's not right here. When she was 3, she developed trichotillomania, which I'm not sure if you're familiar, but that is where you impulsively pull your hair out.
Mm.
So she would come up to us with like her hair in her hand and just like drop it on our lap and then go about her day. As she grew up in life, those effects deeply rooted in her, and she could not help it. Definitely being bipolar. I'm bipolar myself, so I know a lot about that. But she has struggled in her life severely because of these issues. So children with abuse takes a lot of attention and a lot of work because you want to make sure that you're healing what has happened to them in the past, but also showing that there is hope, and there is, we can get better. So again, kids with abuse are a little bit different. Of course, they come with more medical visits, therapy, things of that nature, but definitely open to, taking on all of that.
Okay, got you, got you, got you. Okay, all right, wonderful, wonderful. I'm gonna share a bit of my experience with working with children.
I would love that.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to work with children. I can't give the specific details of,
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
but I had the opportunity to work with children. They were between the ages of 9 and 17, because once they became
Okay.
18, they would age out. And so
Right.
there were only a few hundred children there.
Okay.
However, to keep the children safe from other people on the outside, there had to be
Hmm.
security at the community. There had to be security.
Right.
And so when you're keeping people out, sometimes it can also feel like you're keeping people in.
Fair
So
enough.
so some of the children ended up feeling as if they were prisoners,
But
right?
no, I get it. I get it.
And so there were grants and stuff, and there were things that, so all of the meals were taken care of for the children, etc. There were sporting activities,
Okay.
and so there were group sports. There were, there were smaller houses where the children would stay with one another. Except you had to keep certain ages with certain ages, because some of the children had issues, and the older kids could
Right.
aggress upon the younger children, and younger children need
Mm.
things that older children don't necessarily need, in terms of affection, etc. But
Right.
it was completely outside of the rules for us to have any type of physical contact with the children for many different reasons, because some of them had been abused.
Yeah.
Some of them would mistake it and think of the connection in another way. Or some of
Right.
them may become envious of other people who may be getting more attention than another. Or they could claim that the touch was something different than it actually was.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So there were a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different things to consider, in terms of taking in children, especially children, because you know what, and unfortunately, the children with the behavioral issues are the ones who need the most help and assistance and the most love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
However, they can create an unsafe environment for other children. They can also
Yeah.
demand an unequal amount of attention for themselves that the other children won't be able to have.
Right.
And then if And then if the children are able to come and go, there are other things to consider, like dating, gang affiliation,
Yeah. Yes.
violence, all of those types of things.
Yes.
So I want to hear more about your idea as you flesh it out and as you start to take the steps necessary, because we have really great intentions for loving and caring for children,
Right.
and sometimes it can skew into looking very much like what's already out there.
Right.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's great feedback. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will keep you posted on what's going on with that. I just wanted to say, Tonya, I listen to you almost every day.
Oh, you're
Every
so
time I get
sweet.
the alert, I I go on to your video if I'm working or not. You are just so positive for everybody, and I just wanted to thank you for that. And then also, if you ever revisit R. Kelly, I want you to hit me up because I have a mouthful on that whole situation.
Really? Okay, well, you know what? When it comes back up in the news, we'll hopefully jump in and we can do some live shows talking about it. The news cycle has kind of died down now, but it'll
It
come.
did, didn't it?
Yeah, it'll come back up again. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So yeah,
Well,
so
thank you so much, Tanya. It was a pleasure.
yeah, and congratulations on the. Let me know when you get your littles, okay?
I will. I will keep you posted. Thank you, girl.
Yeah, have a great day.
I love you.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Okay, I'm not quite ready to go back to work yet, so I will take one more phone call and then we'll call it a day. So welcome in, everyone. What we're doing right now is we're talking about our dreams, what it is that we have inside of our heart as a dream. And I am assisting you with fleshing out the idea as well as visualizing what it will look like. So, if there is a person who is brave enough to call and express what their dream is, the phone lines are open. 323-488-3149 is the phone number. It's 323-488-3149. I'm going to take one more phone call, and then after that, I'm going to jump out of here. So I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing well. These dreams are so beautiful. So far we heard from a young lady who she's from Israel and she wants to move to Korea and exist in Korea and overcome her anxiety in order to be able to do that. And then we heard from a young lady who wants to save and help as many children on earth as possible, who had her own struggles or her own challenges with fertility, and she just wants to give love and care to children who need it. Okay, so phone lines are open. If there's nobody else that needs to call in, then we'll call it a day. We like to keep our broadcast around 1 hour anyway, and I can just go grab lunch, etc. But we were talking about our dreams and what is it that we feel inside of our heart. I saw Kevin in the audience. I just saw Dipped in Indigo come in. Shannon is in the house. Stella is in the house. And Stella was talking to the last caller saying, do you have a plan to cope with tough days, i.e. a support system? Because you mentioned you don't have much family. Do you think you might be triggered? Oh, that's a great question. So Nina should be in the comments. So Nina, that was a question from you. For you. All right. Well, you know what? If there's nobody else that needs to call in, I'm going to jump out of here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I think we had a really lovely broadcast. Give a thumbs up to the video. So there's Nina in the comments right there. Give a thumbs up to the video. It matters for the YouTube algorithm. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go back to editing the book, but I still need a little more time. I think I'm going to just go out into the sun for a little bit, water my flowers, and just relax for a little while, and then jump back into the editing. All right. So thank you all for coming out. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm going to turn off the thingies. So let's see. Let me just get all of this shut down. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate the love and energy. Thank you for sharing your dreams with me. And I hope that my asking questions served as I'm hoping that my asking questions served as the next step in being able to actualize the idea, because there, in order to bring something into reality, we have to envision it. We have to envision what it will look like. What does it look like? What doesn't it look like? What does it feel like? What are some of the techniques and maneuverability? How do we get to that? So I believe in your dreams. I believe in these. I can't wait for you to get yours too. Your bundle of vitamin E's. That sounds like hair bundles. So listen, I believe in your dreams. Oh goodness, we just missed a phone call. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I just turned off the thing. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So listen, I will see you all in the next video. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on so you'll know when I'm live. And I will see you all later. Tonya Tko, and I'm out. Go ahead and love one another. But most importantly, love yourself. And loving yourself is taking the time to realize that your dreams matter. That what you feel inside is important, and that you owe it to yourself to go towards that, to acknowledge that feeling